This video is called the What to Do When. Now you haven't done this in a long time.
Nope, it's been a while.
You're speechless. Huge welcome to a new, take two. Huge welcome to a new video series from the Distance Project called Back to Basics. We've been kind of getting deep into a lot of the breath work that we've been learning about and applying, talking more about physiology and stress physiology around stress. We thought it would be fun to put a whole video series that really kind of shows the basics, baseline foundations of our approach to training runners, or training anybody. And breathing, function, and diaphragmatic breathing is the baseline that we always start with. In our viewpoint, it's like if I can't breathe well laying on the floor, I don't have any business as a coach tasking anybody to go running up the road swinging kettlebell over their head or doing other stuff. So Coach Lex is going to show us how this works, and this would be a baseline. She's going to lay on her back. This would be a baseline for any new athlete coming in the gym, no matter whether they had a sport-specific, endurance-specific goal, or they just wanted to feel better in life. Lex is laying on her back. She's going to go knees up. She's going to go one hand underneath her bottom ribs, one hand up on her chest. And I'm just going to put a 2-minute clock on. I'm going to have her do slow nasal breathing. That's all I want her to do. And what I want her to notice is which hand moves first. So her mouth is closed, she's breathing through her nose. What hand is moving first? I'm going to give her a couple minutes to tune into that. I'm obviously going to watch that too and see what I see. And if that top hand is moving first, and she's not activating that diaphragm in the most relaxed position we can put this athlete in, that's never going to get better on a rower, an assault bike, or run, or a kettlebell swing, or anything else that you might program or that you might think to do. We have to fix this first on the floor foundationally, right? So if she's saying, again, upper hand's moving first, I'm breathing through my chest, we can't get her recruiting that diaphragm, we'll spend as long as we need to spend to get her to sit upright. We're going to have her put her hands in a C shape around her bottom ribs. Her mouth is closed. With nasal breathing, we're going to see if she can make her diaphragm push her hands away. Can she breathe into her hands and push her hands away and then let that relax? Push her hands away. Then relax. We're going to have her scoot that C shape around the side of her ribs. We're going to have her start to think about breathing in a 360-degree sphere. We may even pull up some videos on the diaphragm, some 3-day videos. We're going to address that first before we do anything else, because everything else we're doing at that point is going to be in a compromised position, right? She can't recruit her main breathing muscle. It's going to affect her core stability in lifting and running. It's going to affect her breathing mechanics. If we can get the athlete doing that, and we can get them back on their back, and we can have them breathing where the belly rises first, we can then take that into movement. But if we don't fix it on the floor, we're not going to fix it in movement. So let's start talking about fixing it in movement. Maybe we then take the athlete to something as simple as a plank on their hands. Right. Simplest position in the world. We don't plank a lot here in the gym, but we use it as a diagnostic. And maybe we'll get that person thinking about breathing into that 360-degree sphere. Not just into their belly. We're not belly breathing, we're breathing into a 360-degree sphere. And maybe we'll apply some gentle downward pressure and have them resist that pressure. And now they start to feel what stability feels like, where their hips should be, where their tension should be in something like a push-up, a plank, a deadlift, a pull-up, or any of these other movements. Maybe then we drop into a squat. Right? We drop into a squat. We ask them if they can breathe in that position. Can they breathe in that shape? Can they still stabilize their trunk? Before we start having them doing loaded squats of any kind, I want to know that they can stabilize the spine first, 100%, right? What if they can't breathe in that position? What if you get somebody that drops down to a squat and the back rounds out and they can't breathe there? We have a couple things going on. One, we have a lens for any mobility dysfunction or restriction that we see. What is it going on? Is it the ankle? Is it the hip? We know that we have a compromised pattern because on the floor, Coach Lex could activate her diaphragm and breathe into it. Then we asked her to change shapes and she couldn't. How are we going to load this pattern? We're going to start throwing heavy kettlebell squats into this? Absolutely not, right? What about a pull-up as an archetype? Now she understands how to recruit her diaphragm and how to breathe into a 360-degree sphere and organize her trunk. The same thing in a pull-up. Now we're going to eliminate these overextension faults. What about a run? She's going to demonstrate a pull and fall on the wall. What is her running mechanic? Is she neutral or is she running in a broken overextended position that she can't breathe in, right? We can test it in all these shapes, and if she can show breathing proficiency, then we can start to talk deeper about biomechanics, and then we can start to load those biomechanics with strength training, and we can take that strength training into endurance sports and rock and roll. So that's how we think about basics of breathing, and we're excited to kick this series off where we talk about basics of training for sport and for life. Super.
Cool.
That worked out.
No.
Upload that motherfucker.